Hello friends, this is Professor Forkner, and this is a quick video just touching base with you on your short essays of formalist criticism. Several of you were asked to submit a rewrite. So I'm going to walk through a few points that I think should help you. This isn't so much an essay as it is a paragraph. If you go back to the assignment description, this should read almost as if, obviously put your name and give me your heading and that stuff, but it should read as if the claw came along and hovered over an essay about death of a salesman, and the claw lowered and grabbed a paragraph out of this essay. And this paragraph just happens to be about the use of the repeated image of seeds in Death of a Salesman. Seeds and things that grow. And that's what this paragraph is covering. It's not trying to cover the entire story. It's just analyzing and picking apart this particular image. So that's what we're encouraging you to do here. Find an image, find a metaphor. There are many of them in this play, and find one, and now it's your turn to pick it apart. What are the many instances of this image occurring in the play? Stockings is one that I get a lot of. The music of the flute. That's an interesting one. I promise there's more to say about any one of these images than just 3 sentences. There's a lot that can be said because they represent something. These things, the way in which, Willie's trying to grow a garden, but there's no light. That's true on a literal level, but Miller is trying to say something on a metaphorical level. There's a shadow that's being cast over the things that Willie is trying to grow. You see, that's the kind of and that's just me. That's just me in the play saying, ha, that's interesting. So that's what we're looking for, okay? There's a lot to be said about each thing. The point is, I'm looking for your insights, and we can talk about to-be verbs and present tense and all of that, but content-wise, if I'm asking you to re-examine the content of your paper, I'm asking you to go deeper. I'm asking you to focus on the one thing. It's not to simply provide a summary is not quite scholarly, because I can read the play, and I don't have to be a great thinker. I don't have to be a creative thinker. I can read the play and I can see what it's about. It's obvious. This is what the play is about. This is why you don't need to waste your time summarizing the events of the play for the reader, for me. It should be assumed, and it says this in the assignment description, you should assume that whoever's reading this is familiar with Death of a Salesman. So you don't need to worry about making sure we know that Willie's going to lose his mind later, or that Linda is this long-suffering housewife who's trying to do right by her husband and all of that sort of thing. What I want to see is, what do you see in the play that I might not have seen when I read it? This is not something that's on the surface that's obvious. What's on the surface is what happens. Anybody can read the play and see what happens. What I need is something that's beneath the surface. And one of the easiest ways to do that is by asking you guys to find an image, find a metaphor. Is it the Chevy? Is it the sports? What is it? You don't even have to look across the whole spectrum of the play. You can just focus on one scene, right? So again, it's not a synopsis, okay? The temptation is to to pick something and then veer off and start talking about something that is not related to your topic sentence at the beginning of the paragraph, veering off talking about the American dream, or talking about how Linda is trying to keep this family alive. Avoid this temptation. This is like I say, I want you to imagine, even if it helps you to imagine, that this could be like you've got your coffee table book on Death of a Salesman, and this paragraph you're lifting out is specifically addressing this one image. Okay? And these are the things that you have seen in this image, and why this image is significant, and all that jazz. I hope that's making sense. So that's why you don't need to make sure that you're basically... Many of you are talking about an image, but then it veers off into talking about Willie's suicide and he's losing track of reality and all of it. And yeah, while all of that's true, stick with what you've decided to analyze. Okay, you tell me what these symbols mean. Right? This is your opportunity in a lot of ways. We theater folk love to do this, so do it. We love to sit and talk. I love to sit and talk about the images that we see in the play. Oh my gosh, this represents this, and that represents that. Well, let's talk about this, what this represents, and how important it is. And I see why Arthur Miller is doing what he's doing. Right? This is your opportunity to put on your beret and to be really smart and tell me something about the diamonds in the African jungle. What do the diamonds in the African jungle evoke? What happens? When does this come up in the play, and what does it represent? And what is the jungle? What is that jungle to Willie? Is it like? Could it be like the city? Could it be like the urban jungle? This is where you get to spin that. All right. I want to encourage you also, because there's so much. I really, really, really strongly encourage you, and I can tell when you've outlined your paper and when you're kind of putting it together on the fly. I really want to encourage you to outline your papers, okay? The most important thing is not that you are writing in that your prose is gorgeous. That's not the most important thing right now. The most important thing is that you're clear. The most important thing is that your train of thought can be clearly followed. I'd prefer if you simplify your writing and focus on making sure that you're covering your points clearly, rather than trying to impress me. Okay? So that means starting with a topic sentence, especially for those of us who are still in our rewrites, starting with a topic sentence, and then you've got your 3 points that you're going to cover in your paragraph, and then ending with a nice solid concluding sentence. Okay? And the nice thing is, it's just between you and the play, so you get to tell me what you saw, but you're not what you saw in the whole play. We don't have time for that. We only get one paragraph, so your paragraphs must be focused on one thing. Okay? I hope that this is helpful. I hope that this clarifies some things. If you haven't watched the videos in the week 3 study folder, and there are many of them, and you had a busy week last week, and I understand that. But many of you failed to do that. And I can tell because these videos covered a lot of the grammatical issues that I fixed in your papers. So that means your usage of the to be verbs. That means the usage of using past versus present tense. Several of you spoke about we, the audience, can see, and we asked you not to do that. Don't just you and the play. Don't make assumptions on behalf of the audience that they saw what you saw. Okay, so if you haven't watched these videos, I'm gonna know when I look at your long essays, all right? So make sure you've done that. Also, and this may really help several of you, in course resources, there are sample essays. There is a sample short form essay, and then there's a sample long essay for your formalist, and then later for your theoretical criticism. Take a look at those. See how they're laid out. What's being addressed here? How is the writer dealing with this issue? What's their approach like? Okay, so that's all I've got. I hope that all of this is helpful to you. I want your insights. Don't tell me what happens in the play. I'll read the play and find out. I need you to peel the layers of the onion back, or the parfait, because everybody loves parfait. All right. So thank you for watching this. I know that this was a little long, but please bear these things in mind. All right, everybody. I'm looking forward to seeing your revisions, and those of you who got your revisions in, please make sure that you're taking a look at the feedback that I'm giving you, and otherwise I'll see y'all in your papers. Bye bye, everyone.